Hello, and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And how are we all surviving this comeback-packed October? We're still in the past where it hasn't happened yet, but I'm tired for our future selves.
Yeah, this will be a one right after the other jam-packed month.
Yeah, I wonder from here in the past if like Hyuna has like a date or if they're just like if they've just dropped a music video, because I feel like the spoilers at this point in the past are getting they're like coming so
very
fast
spoilery
that I feel like it's gotta be soon. And then like Super Junior is back and Monsta X will be back probably by the time this episode comes out. And like, I don't know, there's just so much going on this month. And I wish that we were in the future and could talk about it, but
we're here in the past.
But we're here in the past. And I just thought I'd address everybody and say, hope you're hanging in, because I know we're all tired. And it's only October and I'm already starting to think and like try to plan for our end of year episodes. And I just want to sit down and cry because there was too much K-pop this year.
We're utterly fucked for our end of the year shows, because having to choose the best of 2019, like outside of K-pop, this year has not been great. But, whew, man, K-pop has been having good music. A golden year.
Yeah, and there's just so much of it. How will we even pick?
I'm already upset just thinking about it.
I know.
Like, Taemin Want came out this year.
I know.
So long ago.
I know. Anyway, today's topic is something that I've like been wanting to talk about for a while, because I feel like it's a very important
aspect of
like
K-pop?
a hidden, like one of those, hidden gears that like keeps it all turning, that like maybe we all don't think about as often.
Behind the scenes detail that is essential but never seen.
Yeah, or seen on rare occasions, or seen when they shouldn't be, or we'll get into it. But this is the idea that all K-pop idols, whether they be groups or just solo artists, and even like actors and whatever in the Korean entertainment business, everyone gets a staff.
Yes. And sometimes staff is used as a very general term to refer to, well, sometimes, always.
Yeah.
Staff is a very general term that is used to apply to a lot of different positions of someone's team.
Yeah, and I think generally most idols' team is like that's around them every day is made up of managers, which we'll talk about a lot today, and they, are responsible for basically all aspects of an idol's life. And then there's another thing that is referred to as a coordie, which is short for coordinator. And they are the stylists and the people who have like extra clothes in the van or whatever. Like the coordies also come along because people have to be dressed and look good on TV. And then also bodyguards, which are very important when there's rabid fans around and
Absolutely.
such.
Do coordies also encompass, you said they include stylists. Do they also include makeup and hair people?
I think so. And based on what I've seen, it seems like coordies travel with the idols like managers do. And
especially the people who are in charge of their wardrobe specifically.
Yes. Right. Because a lot of times, like, the reason that you need all of these things is that like idols have very, very packed schedules. Like companies like to keep them busy and making money. So sometimes you'll get up in the morning and go do a radio show, and then you have a photo shoot later, and then you got to do something else. So your coordie has to have 3 outfits in the back of the or 7 outfits in the back of the van, because who knows what could happen or whatever. So they've got to. And they're responsible for making sure that you look good all the time. There's one of my favorite little shiny coordie moments on Weekly Idol. On a recent Weekly Idol before they went to the military, they were playing a game, and like Mino's hair was like one strand was out of the way. And his like coordie Nuna was like, let me fix your hair. And he fully turns into a baby for like 5 seconds. And he's like, who even cares? Like, just a game. And he like stands there, and she like combs his hair like a baby, and then he like stomps back.
Because he is in the middle of a game that he is losing badly, and he is getting very competitive and cranky about it. And so he like stomps over, like, don't interrupt me, I'm trying to win. And then she fixes his hair.
But it's her job to make sure that his hair always looks good.
Yeah, and that is not the shiny moment I thought you were going to bring up, because my favorite coordie shiny moment moment is from one of their Shiny World tours where Mino comes off the stage and he's shirtless and very sweaty, and it's somebody's job to just dab him with a towel. And I was like, where do you apply
for that job? Yeah. So these staff members are very important because they are always around, and they sort of work as like a surrogate arm of the company between the idols and the company to like ensure that everyone's best interests are like ideally your staff would be like perfectly working in harmony to make sure that the idol is getting what they want and the company is getting what they want, and like everybody meets in the middle. It doesn't always work that way, but that's the intention.
And the key piece of that in particular is the manager, because the manager is in charge of all contacts for the artist, including communication between the company and the idol itself, whether that's idol to company or company to idol. The manager is basically in charge of their entire life. They are responsible for communicating for endorsement deals, TV appearances. If the idol is interested in doing a collaboration with another artist, that has to go through the manager. Any communication, like I said, between the company itself and the idol or vice versa, it all, like, the manager is the point person, and they usually end up having the craziest schedule because they're the ones who have to, if the artist has to be there at 5, so they have to wake up at 3, the manager has to wake up at 2 or 1 in order to make sure that their artist gets to wherever they need to be on time.
At that podcast recording for Grace Helbig that Jordan and I got to sit on with Eric Nam, he said, like, managers are the unsung, like, heroes of K-pop because they get up before you and they go to sleep after you.
Yeah.
Like, they don't. And the communication thing, I feel like that even comes down to just simple cell phones, because I can think of like a gajillion of reality variety examples of people calling a celebrity friend and the manager picks up the phone.
Yes, absolutely. The manager usually even is holding on to the artist's cell phone, especially because when the artist is going on all of their schedules, like photo shoots and radio shows and TV appearances, they can't have their cell phone on them while they're doing these things. So the manager always has it and is sort of the voice of the artist for a significant period of the day. And they manage not just the idols, but also making sure that all of the courties get there on time, that if there's a mistake, they have the supplies they need to fix it, or whatever the case may be. They literally manage every aspect.
It seems like a very, very intense and stressful job, and I doubt very seriously that it like pays enough for what it is.
Yeah. A great example of how stressful and challenging a manager's job is 17.
Yeah.
Because 17, of course, is a group of 13 members. They usually have 3 managers at a time. But in a show called The Manager, there's a show that recently followed around one of 17's managers. And in that, it was revealed that first, Seungkwan goes on and on for a really long time about how his heart really goes out for the managers because of that idea that they get up before you and they go to sleep after you. He's like, I'm worried it's bad for their health. And it just might be, because 17, since their debut, has had 15 different managers.
Yikes.
And the longest any of them have ever lasted is 6 months.
Whoa.
So they have an intense rotation of managers. I don't know if the manager that was featured on that show, the manager, is still their manager, but he is a very good manager, and he enlisted some hilarious well, I guess actually they've been doing this since their debut, but because there's so many of them, they count off in order to always do like a roll call.
Right.
And they talk a lot in that episode about how at the beginning when they were rookies, it was just like very normal to always have to count off. But now it's kind of embarrassing because they're like trying to look cool in front of younger groups. And so then they have to. Yeah. 2. So instead of saying 1, 2, now they do it as though they're not really counting. They're just casually 1. Oh, 2. I think that's 4. Just like casually throw it out there so that they can save face in front of their rookie groups.
Did you, forgive me if you said this in that whole thing, but does 17 usually just have a manager or like 3 at a time? Is it like a preschool? Like you gotta have.
They usually have 3 at a time, and the managers are sort of because they have the 3 units. I think they probably divide them by unit, but they have a key manager. So like one of those 3 managers is sort of in charge of everyone, but then you within that have sort of like almost like being a chaperone at a field trip.
Right.
You are responsible for everyone, but also keep an eye on these 4.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, I think the manager relationship is very interesting and changes. And if you have a good manager that you stick with, I think that relationship, the nature of it changes significantly as the idol's career goes on. Like a manager of a rookie group is probably never sleeping and is like very mean and very stressed out because like rookie groups need to be kept in line. And I feel like their managers are more like babysitters, like making sure that they aren't getting lost and then and keeping them out of trouble because they're like new. But then if your manager stays with you a long time and you get really rich and famous, then your manager just becomes like your personal assistant who's buying you groceries and being your Instagram wife and driving you Suho's manager just goes on vacation with him so he can take pictures of him like in front of buildings or whatever.
Yeah, and the manager sort of becomes like, I mean, they are from the get-go, even for rookies, like they are responsible for taking care of, quote, an idol's needs. So that means anything as far as like, can you get me a coffee? I'm tired. And then they'll go and they'll get you a coffee or whatever. A few fun facts, or I don't know about fun, a few general facts about managers. For one, they're usually male. It's just a fact of the industry. They're usually men. And sometimes they stick with the artist, but sometimes they get changed out because it depends on whether the manager is like affiliated specifically with the company or affiliated specifically with the artist. Because sometimes, and I'll use an example later on about a particular manager who's gotten like well known by fans of a couple different groups, but because of the company themselves, they'll like maybe they start out with one JYP artist and then the company needs them to manage something else, so then they get changed around.
Right.
So sometimes staff changes not because of like a disagreement or an issue with the relationship between the idol and the staff, but just because of the company itself.
Yeah, totally. Another thing that I thought was very interesting, I saw it a couple of times, is like I always assumed, because like thinking of rookie groups like needing to be kept in line and have like an authority figure babysitter, I always assumed that managers were like older, but I saw a lot of stories of same age and younger managers. Yeah. I watched this video of a former SHINee member or former SHINee manager who kept referring to them as the SHINee Youngs. And I was like, are you shitting me?
Yeah, I read the exact same article.
Yeah.
The interview with him where he was like, the SHINee Youngs are so nice. I learned a lot from them. And I was like, wait, Hyungs? All of them? Even Taemin? Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so that just like kind of shocked me a little bit. But I guess that like does make sense for like an established group like SHINee. But I'm always imagining these like older or like, you know, dudes that are older than the groups, like bossing them around or
and
whatever.
That is the case for some of them, but it's not unheard of for a manager to be fairly young. And I read one interesting thing, like due to the demand of the schedule, that a lot of times during promotions, like comebacks and debuts, the manager will dorm with the group in their whatever company dorms are. Not just in like we're going on tour and so we're all staying in a hotel, but like these company dorms, the EXO manager is like sharing a room with Tao, right? Because he's gonna need to like wake them all up at ungodly hours.
Totally. Yeah. So we have a lot of stories, some specific stories about managers. And because the potential for darkness is there, I want to get that part out of the way now so that we don't end on a sad note.
Always get the bad news out of the way before the good news.
So as with all things, like when there are a lot of managers who are like not good people or made poor choices or whatever. Because
react poorly due to stress and exhaustion.
Yes. But before we get into like the actual concrete evidence of bad manager treatment, I think that there often just is a general like suspicion and resentment of managers in K-pop culture in general.
Yeah.
It seems it's an easy scapegoat for fans to get mad at because at things like fan signs and music shows, managers are just like yelling and corralling people and like, you need to leave, your time is up, like, give me that present. And then people get very angry, like, she took that teddy bear too hard from me, or she was yelling, and people just get very like worked up over the attitudes that managers have.
And I think it has a lot to do with the idea that, like we said, it is a manager's responsibility to control almost every aspect of that idol's life. And so because of that, like certain fans who of course get like very, worried or skeptical about a company's treatment or schedule or like, obligations that an idol might be under, they get very skeptical of that. And so then they take it out on the manager because the manager is the one who's in charge of that schedule. It doesn't necessarily mean they make the schedule, but they are in charge of enforcing the schedule. And because their schedules are so intense, people often blame the manager for that.
Right.
Which may or may not be appropriate. I don't know. It's hard to find a lot of information about managers.
Yeah. Unless there were ones that like straight up committed crimes and their names are documented somewhere, like it's really hard to find out like who works at a company or who's in charge of people or whatever. And I feel like I've seen on Twitter several times like the manager Nuna in the gray sweater at Music Bank today was being rude. Like, does anyone know who she is? And like people get like, we got to track this manager down and tell the company that like she's being mean to us.
Yeah. But a lot of their personal information is not known. And a key piece of that is because part of their job involves not being seen or heard.
Right.
They are supposed to be in the wings the whole time, and they are not meant to have a face or name, really. So a good manager is probably one that they've
never seen. Yeah. Another like one I remember that there was like a hashtag that the NCitizens were able to like trend at one point, but somebody put together a compilation of all of the times that NCT had gotten scolded during a live because the managers are the ones like holding the phone or like standing. They're usually just the ones on the other side of the table for the V Lives or whatever. And there were several instances of members of NCT like getting loud or getting wild and then suddenly stopping and like looking off camera like they were frightened. And so the fans just started getting really like worried about them. Like, are they like raising their hands like, I'm gonna hit you? Like, because that's how some of them were reacting.
Yeah, they like flinch a little.
Like they were gonna get in very big trouble, but like nothing ever really like came of it because like, how do you prove that? And like also the company would probably be like, yeah, that's what we sit them in there for, is like to make sure they don't slip up or get loud or say something they shouldn't. Like, I don't know. It's like that weird thing I was saying where like, and the Shiny guy even said it, is that the hardest part of being a manager is like, if you love your group and you like care about them and they want something, but the company's telling you they can't have it. Yeah. Or like, you like maybe the NCT managers like want them to have as much fun on live as possible, but they got yelled at by somebody because of how NCT acted on the last live. So they have to stop it. Like
or like if the company tells the manager that the idol has to be on a diet and then the idol goes on a variety show and they have to eat something, and it's the manager's responsibility to remind them, hey, don't eat that, you're on a diet. And that, of course, makes the manager the bad guy. There's a lot of examples of that for one of Red Velvet's managers. Yes. I saw that come up a lot. There
was a funny, I did appreciate the standing up. There was a time where Sunny, I think it was on a radio show, was like talking to Red Velvet and was like, what's the deal? Like, I keep seeing you guys getting scolded for eating. Like, what are your diets like? What's happening? And they were like, oh, we can't. And she was like, why? You're all too skinny. Which manager told you couldn't? That Unnie out there? I know her. I'm going to tell her that like Sunny like fully stood in there and was like, they can't tell you not to eat. I won't stand for this.
I love it. You go, Sunny. Eat whatever you want, ladies.
But I guess like some bad stories, if we'll get in there. A lot of them involve managers, I would say, losing patience with fans and getting physically violent when there are like sasaengs or crowds or whatever. There are some upsetting videos.
Oh, yes. I didn't watch a lot of them because I was like, you know what? I don't want to watch this grown-ass man violently shove a teenage girl. I just don't. I don't need to see it with my own eyes to believe that it happened. But I saw like two distinct categories of bad managers. One was in this negative fan interaction where maybe they went too far in trying to control a crowd or a particular fan. And the other was a negative interaction between manager and idol. So first we'll talk about the fan interactions. Is there anyone in particular that any instance in
one
particular?
that I saw that like kept coming up because there's a Shiny one that's kind of famous where a Shiny manager hit someone at the airport and it's very undeniable. And this other
shoved so hard.
This other one I saw, it was from years ago. CN Blue was like getting out of a van and this manager like upside the head like smacks this girl like so hard and is screaming like, "Are you fucking crazy?" Like he lost his mind.
Is that the one where her glasses fly off her
Probably.
face? Yeah. There's one and I can't remember which group it was because I kept seeing a few instances like repeated in different lists was 101, EXO, Shiny, and CN Blue all had at least one moment where their manager got like too rough with a fan. And one of them, I can't remember which one, I didn't write it down because I didn't want to.
Right.
But one of them, actually, the fan was able to get legal repercussions because she ended up like he like hurt her neck or something. And she like went to the doctor for it. And so because she had like a doctor's note, she was able to get some kind of legal repercussion or ramification sought out after that particular manager.
I saw in the other way of the same behavior towards an idol, there was an episode of BTS's little YouTube show, and they were following one member in the foreground, and in the background, one of the managers is yelling at Jungkook, and you can see him raise his hand in a violent like in a threatening gesture. He doesn't hit him, but he like threatens to. And fans noticed it and were like,
and Jungkook noticeably flinches as though perhaps he has been hit before.
Yeah.
And there were some fan accounts of that interaction where they heard the manager yelling like, "Get away from me while my tone is still nice."
Ooh.
And so that instance, that manager ended up being dismissed because fans were, reasonably upset about what they witnessed. And the company came out and issued a formal apology, which was one of those like legalese sort of non-apologies where they were like, "We will work hard to ensure trust between fans and idols and staff." But yeah, that manager actually got dismissed because of it in December of 2015.
Yeah. Well, all I have left under worst is the terrible blackmail scandal. I didn't know if you had anything else.
I did not.
Okay. So this is a horrible story and I literally hate it, but it like must be told. So back in the year 2000, Baek Ji-young, who we've talked about a bunch of times, solo artist, OST queen.
My Ear's Candy, yes.
Yes. Back in 2000, when she was still a teenager, her ex-manager, this man named Kim Ji-won, they had been having a secret torrid affair.
Oh, yikes.
And she was like, tried to end it and wanted new management and was just trying to remove herself from it. And he blackmailed her by putting a sex tape he had secretly made of them on the internet. But immediately everyone was like, this is child porn. So then they put out a warrant for him and he fled the country.
Oh my God.
All of her music was pulled from the radio. People like burned her records. She was like done for and moved to the US for 6 years and just like disappeared.
Wow.
She came back, obviously, and decided that she was going to hold her chin high. And she is like, she's fully recovered her career and she is like very beloved. But it was like this horrible stain and this terrible man who did like, I think that's probably the worst.
So many, that's definitely the worst. There are so many terrible, upsetting layers to that. Wow. Yikes. Horrible.
Yeah. So that was like the worst manager story I could find. It's really bad, but ugh.
Yeah.
So that's how bad it can get. Oh, I have another one. It's also bad, but maybe it'll be a slight palate cleanser from blackmail tape. A former B2M entertainment manager was caught in 2016 stealing from Spica and Eric Nam. And in 2016, he was sentenced to 8 months in prison for it. So he was caught and punished. But
how dare he go against not only my girl Spica, but also best friend of the podcast, Eric Nam? Unacceptable. Eric, get over here. We got to talk to you about this.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like how management can go bad.
Yeah.
There's also some like I saw some rumory things, but none of them were confirmed. But a rumor that has come up several times is that sasaengs manage to get manager positions in companies, and then people will be like, that person is a known sasaeng, like they shouldn't be managing anybody, like they shouldn't be getting access to idols because they've proven themselves to be wackadoos.
Ooh, what a nightmare. That's horrible. I also saw a lot of other rumory things where like, I remember when back in the day, long ago, when we did our choreography episode and I was learning about 17 for the first time, I saw a lot of articles that were about fans thinking that managers had like been stealing fan gifts from 17. And then I also read, I think it's NCT, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was a 101. I don't remember. It was one of those really big boy groups where fans were complaining about a female manager who they felt was too touchy with the boys and felt like she was crossing a line and like accusing her of sexual harassment. And then she ended up leaving that group and she was assigned to another boy group. And when she was photographed at the airport, the fans came back and were like, no, remember her? Like she's inappropriate. Like she shouldn't be the manager. No. So I don't remember. I don't know exactly like what happened with that, but I just remember fans often throw up red flags about certain managers, and sometimes it is well warranted.
Right, yeah. But I would rather take a few minutes to talk about some funner manager stories because that was a bummer and I don't want to talk about bummers anymore. So one of my favorite stories, there was a TV show, it's still on the air, but it's called Omniscient. And it follows around celebrity managers like doing their lives, and like occasionally the celebrities show up, but it's like supposed to be about the managers. And last year, Sunmi did an episode with her longtime manager. Okay, so Sunmi had this manager, Lee Hae-ju, and she's been with her since Wonder Girls days, all the way through to solo stuff. And Hae-ju was having like bad financial problems, and she was probably going to get kicked out of her apartment and was like looking into shady loan shark stuff and was like in a very bad spot. And then one day she checked her bank account and there was a bunch of money in there and it had been deposited by Sunmi. So when she asked her about it, Sunmi was like, I overheard you on the phone and like I felt like I shouldn't have been listening, but that I needed to help you. And like, I'm sorry that I can't just outright buy you a house, but like, I hope this helps. And like, please don't pay me back. And so the manager just like tearfully told this story on TV and was just like, Sunmi's so important to me. And I thought that was just like very sweet and nice. But unfortunately, this year she left and she's not Sunmi's manager anymore. Aww. She said she had personal reasons, but she stuck with her for like many years. Wow. And it seems like they were close, and that's nice.
I hope it was an amicable reason
me too,
for her leaving.
Me too,
because I mean as much as like managers and idols can really bond, like we said, it's such a demanding job to be an idol's manager, because we're constantly talking about how demanding it is to be an idol, and then again consider being the person who has to wake up before all of those idols. So I can't imagine that it's a job where you could do it for a really long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it would be very surprising to me to have a manager last for an entire idol's career, because that means over a decade of like 3 hours of sleep and no social life and 7 days a week constantly being on call. Like, I wouldn't be able to do that no matter how much I loved the idol.
Yeah.
I really don't think I could.
I wonder if that's what happened with Hyuna's manager. She had this one manager who was with her like from Wonder Girls to 4 Minute and was like always by her side. And when the troubles happened and they all got fired from Cube, like that was it. She's never been seen again, which was like a bummer because I thought they were like really friends, but like maybe they weren't. And like,
or maybe Cube really, really came down hard on her, and maybe
made
she
it
got
her
like,
fault.
Yeah, and maybe she got like blacklisted and stuff. Because I read a lot about how managers, if they are willing, managers help in covering up and facilitating relationships.
Oh, sure.
And so, I mean, obviously they like manage the entire schedule. So I wouldn't be surprised if Cube utterly fucked her over because of
They said
the
it
whole
was her fault.
Hyuna Edon thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
she's like not able to work in that industry anymore. Who knows?
I don't know, but she still posts cute pictures of her nephew on Instagram, so she hasn't disappeared. But
I have a couple of different examples of just like cute interactions.
Great.
For example, one of the managers of Girls' Generation, when he got married, all 9 of Girls' Generation attended the wedding, and there's really cute photos of the bride and groom like surrounded by all of Girls' Generation. Similarly, one of the managers of EXO, fairly recently, like within the last 2 or 3 years, he got married and EXO performed at their wedding.
Very nice.
So that was really nice. There's wonderful photos of them all in their suits, and they just look so good. And one manager that I wanted to bring, that I brought up a little bit earlier. So Twice had a female manager whose name is Kim Na-yeon, and she is utterly beloved by fans themselves. And she first gained attention as one of Twice's managers when at a fan sign event, she helped a fan who's in a wheelchair access the stage. So she like went out of her way to make sure he could get on stage. And then while he was on stage, she knelt down and pushed him to each member, but continued to crouch so that the rest of the fans could still see the members.
Yeah.
And so she got like a lot of Twitter acclaim and love from the onces for that. She's also appeared on certain like V live streams. And people say that she looks like Sadness from Inside Out. So they call her Sad Nuna, Sad Nuna manager. But she takes that nickname in pride, in stride. And there's a lot of like funny Instagrams and pictures of her. But she's since left. So she initially was with Twice, and then JYP switched her to Stray Kids for a little while. And then now she is with IZ*ONE.
Oh, interesting.
So she's not even with JYP anymore. Now she's with IZ*ONE.
interesting. IZ*ONE.
IZ*ONE. Okay, I said it right the first time.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Another like famous in the fandom staff is IU has a bodyguard named Mr. Park, and he's been her bodyguard for many years.
Since
and
2011.
And he's tall and he's hot, and like there's like really great pictures of him like holding umbrellas over her, and it's just like fancy bodyguard stuff that everyone would like dream of. He has a cool earpiece. I'm like, I don't know, he's a cool bodyguard.
Yeah, he's a cool bodyguard who's always by her side, and fans love him because he does like really sweet small gestures that are like always looking out for her, such as holding umbrellas. But they're also good friends. They like she like Instagrams him and stuff, and so they like get along well. And man, if that was a romance.
Oh, that would be wild.
That would be amazing.
Someone should make a drama about that if they haven't.
They
yet.
did. It stars Whitney Houston. It's called The Bodyguard.
Oh, right. Well, yeah. Isn't that also being like redone right now? Or
The Bodyguard?
Or no? Am I thinking there's some show? This is not important, but it has Rob Stark is in some show where he's playing like some kind of bodyguard. Is it?
It's called Bodyguard.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know if it's a romance, though. I thought that was like an intense action
maybe it is.
thriller.
I have no idea. Oh, none of these pictures are working. Another manager that got a bunch of attention recently is one of A-Pink's managers, because Yoonji wasn't.
Yes, I wrote this down too. It was so cute.
It was on Weekly Idol. Oh, it was back in 2015, but this guy hasn't gone away and he's hot and people like him. But Yoonji wasn't there, so they like made him be on the Weekly Idol episode and like stand there in like a flower crown and like. It's very funny.
Oh, that's actually not the instance that I thought you were going to bring up about A-Pink's manager, because one of their managers, I don't know if it's the same one as you just mentioned, but there was an instance where there's a lot of really cute different moments from different groups and different managers where the manager like knows the choreography. But in one instance, A-Pink was practicing, like doing a sound check rehearsal for one of their concert appearances, and one of their members was not there, so the manager was her stand-in for the like entire thing, and like knew her her place in the formation and all of the choreography. And there's really great footage of him standing in for Yoonji.
Let me see. Oh my God, he's wearing like a purple sweatshirt.
They're all in their costumes and he's just like there.
Oh my God, he knows exactly where to walk.
He knows the dance too. Cute.
Oh my God, he really does know the whole thing. He's even
holding a microphone. This is my favorite thing I've ever seen from a manager.
Oh my God.
So cute.
Yeah. Oh, good booty shaking. Oh my God, that's so funny.
He holds the mic like he's really singing. This hurts my cheeks. It fills me with so much joy.
Oh my God.
I also really love, shout out to one of 17's Nuna managers. I don't know if she's a Cordy or if she's a manager, but she's a Nuna staff. And they were at a fan sign fairly recently, and one of the fans handed Wonwoo a rose, and the staff just came up so casually behind him and just put it to his mouth. And it's from behind, so Wonwoo like just on instinct opens his mouth and like accepts it into his teeth. But all of the fans just like cracked up and screamed. And this perfect photo moment that this beautiful Nuna staff she knew what the fans wanted.
Yeah, she really, really nailed that. Because that's like a thing that managers have to do at fan signs, is they're just constantly sweeping to take presents off the table and to tell people to move it along if they're taking too long. And the way she sweeps in behind is like he's expecting her to just take it because they just take things. But she sticks at his teeth instead, and it's very funny. The article that I found, all of the like links were broken and it was annoying, but so I couldn't have any examples. But hot managers also get a lot of attention. Yeah. Like if people have hot managers, like sometimes the fans will figure out who they are and follow them on Instagram or start hashtags for the nicknames and hashtags for the hot managers.
Wasn't there, he's not a manager, but isn't one of the bodyguards or Secret Service members of like the Korean president really hot?
I think so.
Yeah, I feel like I remember like a BuzzFeed article that was like, everyone's losing their shit over this Korean bodyguard. Yeah. Because he's just like in the background.
Looking hot. You just
notice the face.
Their earpieces.
Yeah, I think there's an Infinite manager who is known as being so hot he could be a member of the group. And he even went on one of the episodes of Weekly Idol that Infinite was on. Sungyu had to have a punishment. He had to get hit in the head by the rubber hammer, and they invited the manager to do it. They were like, "You've earned this moment. Right. You get to come and hit him over the head." And he is very good looking.
Yeah, that's great. I was suddenly reminded he wasn't good looking. This story is the exact opposite of a good looking manager story, but it still makes me laugh. It's a SHINee story. It was an episode of We Got Married, and Naon had sent Taemin on this like scavenger hunt through the music studio, and then he was like, "Oh, I need to send her a picture." So all of SHINee like got in this tower, like made their arms into like a heart or whatever, and they were posing, and the manager like takes the picture and he hands it to Mino, and then he just took like a shitty selfie of like up his nose. Like the camera was turned around the other way, and the manager just like took this like horrible picture, and he makes them all laugh so hard, and it's like one of my favorite Mino laugh moments. So
isn't there a really sweet photo series of Mino's manager?
Yes, I was trying to find it again because I saw it on Twitter the other day, and then I like couldn't find it again. But it was like this sweet little photo set of the same manager walking behind Mino when he's like really little and walking him into the army.
Aww. So sweet.
That's so sweet.
Hopefully not the same manager that violently shoved that fan at the airport.
I'm guessing that it probably wasn't. I would guess that manager was probably let go or given a desk job or something, because that was like so on camera. I feel like fans wouldn't have stood for it to keep him to stay around.
Even the members look like very shocked.
Yeah. Do you have any other like stories or anything else that you wanted to point out? Because I don't know if I do.
No, I don't.
No.
That's it.
Okay. Well, that was all I just wanted to take a moment and talk about it because we've never talked about it before. And I feel like the managers are always there. They're always there driving people around and just making everything. They make everything happen.
Yeah, they're responsible for everything. And like, of course, you know, K-pop centers around the idols, but it takes a big dedicated team to put together every aspect of the K-pop industry, and managers are the unsung heroes and occasional villains of the K-pop machine.
K-pop machine. So we say thank you to all of you good managers, and we say watch your back, bad managers. You have eyes on you all the time.
And fans, you keep an eye out on your idols. Make sure they're getting treated well, and make sure you're getting treated well too.
Yeah, don't let anyone shove you. That ain't cool. And with that, we'll be right back with our random game. All right, we're back. And this week, we got a girl group called Sia.
Yeah, Seeya.
And the Y is capitalized.
See you later.
Yeah. Not like Sia, that artist who wears a wig over her eyes.
Correct.
Sia. So this girl group at all times had three members in it. They replaced one, and before their disbandment, they were down to two. But they debuted in 2006 under Mnet Entertainment, and they won a Mama for Best New Group, which, I mean, it was there. I think that might be proof of how award shows work. But anyway.
Yeah, how interesting that this Mnet label group won an Mnet Artist Award.
Yeah, but it's interesting, but we'll see.
It is what it is.
So their debut song was called The First Mind, and it was launched alongside other singles called A Woman's Scent and Shoes.
Oh, it says the album was called The First Mind.
Excuse me.
And so the singles had different names. It was not a same.
See. A Woman's Scent and Shoes. Those are different titles.
Two different songs off of their debut album. Let's see. They also did some OSTs, it seems, and came out with a second album the very next year in 2007, which was called Lovely Sweetheart. It was the 5th best-selling album in Korea that year.
Wow. 2007. Wild. Then in 2008, they released an album called California Dream. This had 3 new songs on it, and it, quote unquote, topped the charts.
Yes, and it was 3 new songs in addition to other songs that had been individually released as side projects. So kind of like a compilation album.
Yes, and then this also says that in 2009, Sia performed a project group with Davichi and Tiara, and they released a single called Women's Generation.
Interesting.
Then a member left, and the other two had a press conference to say they were disappointed in her.
Yikes.
That's a bummer. They got a new member, so there were 3 of them again in 2009, and they did a mini album.
Oh, damn. They really shit-talked that member that left. They said, one of the members said that the entire group had revolved around that member's wishes and that they had received an advance in their salary for a contract of 5 years. So doubling down on the fact that she was in the wrong to leave them in the lurch.
Wow.
But she was replaced. And they released a mini album with their new member, which was called Rebloom, in October of 2009.
And then in 2010, they teamed back up with Davichi and Tiara to release a song called Wonder Woman. Then they did some OSTs. And then in July, they announced that the new member was leaving again to go be in co-ed school.
Okay.
And then they were just a duo until 2010. And then, let's see, final album, 2011.
Yes. And they announced that at some point in their career around 2009, their management changed from Mnet to Core Contents Media. And I don't know if that's because the company itself just changed names.
Or if it folded.
Or if it, yeah, who knows. But when they announced their next album release, Core Contents Media in December of 2010 announced this will be the last album and they will disband after this. So they wanted to go their separate ways, and they came out with, a compilation album called See You Again, which is ironic because it was going to be their last one. So they were not, in fact, going to see us again.
And here's the weirdest sentence I've ever seen, and I want to click on it and know what happened here. In November 2012, Core Contents Media debuted a new group based on Sia called The Sia.
What?
And it's a 4-member group under MBK. Whoa, that's wild.
And their R&B, it's a reboot of original girl group Sia, but with 4 entirely different members.
That's so wild.
Whoa, weird. Why would you make a whole new girl group?
Because they'd bought too many t-shirts that said Sia already, and they couldn't let go of the name or something.
So they grabbed a Sharpie and just wrote "the" on all of them and said, "We're selling these again."
Yeah.
All right. So overall, how many mini albums did they have? What's their discography
they had
like?
5 studio albums all told, 1 EP. And they won a bunch of awards in 2006 for being the new artists.
Yeah, and not just for Mnet, but they also won some Golden Disc and SBS awards as well. So not to say that they weren't deserving of their awards that they did, in fact, win in 2006.
So the music video to watch, according to this Wikipedia, it says right out here that they were known for their 2007 hit Love's Greetings. So I feel like that's what we have to watch.
Okay.
Because all these music videos are re-uploads because it does not look like their company cares at all.
Or perhaps, no, Core Contents Media still exists. All right, well, let's watch what they are quote unquote known for.
Oh no, it's 6 minutes long.
Is this an OST?
I don't know.
Oh, it is the music video, though.
Yeah. Okay, a girl is driving a van and she's very stressed out.
This was from their second album.
All right, archaeological dig.
Okay.
Oh my God, I bet she's going to get, betting right now, she's going to get sucked into the past.
Ooh. I was going to say maybe she's going to get haunted.
Ooh, that could be good too. Oh, they found something. Oh, she looks really stressed out. Oh, it's a grave.
Oh, are they finding a body? Yep.
Oh, she fainted.
Ooh, is it herself?
Yeah, in that crazy drama, time slip way.
Oh, past life.
Yeah, definitely.
the body they found is
It's
her
fully
from
her.
a past life.
It's gotta be.
We just saw a flash of what looked like an angry mob with torches.
Okay. The doctor took a book out of the hands of the mummy.
And now we are in the past. And children in Hanbok are playing and laughing in the rain.
There's a girl princess, and she's like, come over here, dirty mullet boy. Look, he looks like a wolf child. This kid has like wacky hair.
He's got a classic anime mullet.
Super Junior anime mullet.
Yeah.
Oh, this was 2007. Okay, now the kid, they're getting chased out of the market because they spilled pears.
I'm trying to look up if this is a...
Oh, they grew up. They're growing up.
Oh, and they're still holding hands. Forbidden love, perhaps?
Yeah, I don't watch enough historical dramas, but I feel like their clothes are telling me she is important and he is poor, and so they shouldn't be friends.
Oh my god, is the guy that's driving the car the guy?
Oh, maybe. And they're remembering their past.
I don't know.
But they came together in the future in this archaeological dig.
Yes, they did.
Yes.
부탁드릴 게 있어서 왔어요.
He has to show her something.
미라요. 얼굴을 복원해보고 싶어서요.
He's handing her a folder. And she's wearing a wedding ring, and so he looks sad. Oh, she's hiding her wedding ring. Uh-oh, what is happening? It's because she remembers him as past life boy, and now she's... Oh.
Oh, no.
The soldiers are mad.
They're gonna burn somebody.
Yeah, the king seems angry. Blood.
A drop
Fire.
of blood in a bowl.
And the song is
Lord.
starting again.
No, this doesn't work.
Oh, the boy is gonna come try to save the princess from this revolution. Oh,
Yeah,
the Forza
it's like a
revolution.
military coup or something. I thought she was gonna be punished for this forbidden love. But he's not gonna save her. They found her body.
But she wrote about it in the book that she was buried with.
But she was burned. See, look, that's her, right?
Yeah.
The rebels have her. Please, don't kill her.
Oh, he's fighting
shit.
them.
Run! They're both gonna die. They're gonna die together. He's gonna try to fight them all off.
Wow, he's
God.
wildly swinging some
This
fire.
music video is so intense, and it is not from an OST. It is just from one of their albums.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I think he just set this guy on fire.
Yeah, he hit him in the back with a fire, and it's all in slow-mo, so it's like I can see every bit of it. Whoa, cool. He just lit the ground on fire, I guess, and now there's a ring of fire around them that they can escape through.
Oh shit!
Oh, arrow in the
He got shot.
shoulder. Oh no. He's gonna be like, you go on.
They're definitely gonna die.
Please, sir, we're in love. Oh, the guy looks sad. He cares about their love. He's giving him a sword and walking the other way. Oh no, he's in bad shape from being shot. And they're remembering when they were children.
Oh no.
In the flowers. No.
Oh, they're so close to his house. Of course he's not okay.
And the music video is just going to end like this.
What the fuck?
Oh, to be continued. I wonder if they had multiple music videos that kept on this storyline, you know?
Maybe that's why they decided to continue it with this The Sia.
Oh, because they needed to keep the storyline going.
I don't know.
About the archaeologists that have a past life love.
Yeah, past life drama.
Wild.
I like that it says to be continue.
To be continue. To be continue, or not really, because both iterations of Sia are disbanded now.
Womp, womp.
But that was interesting for sure.
Yeah.
I
feel like I didn't even really listen to the song. Was fine. We didn't comment at all on the musicality
because it was just happening, and it did not fit what was happening in the music video at all. It was very OST-ish, and I'm surprised that it wasn't. It wasn't an OST.
But maybe since they also collaborated with Davichi, which makes the same kind of music, maybe that was their style. They just generally did really pretty big ballads.
Yeah, maybe. Well, that was the Sia. Or no, that was just Sia. Not the Sia. That was the second group. Now is when we usually do weekly recommendations. But I don't know. We're here in the past. I don't know if we have anything. I was going to recommend one thing that I've been listening to this week that I haven't brought up on the show yet. And I don't know if it's not even usually my usual style, but the song is called Stay Beautiful, and it is by Jimin Park. And she is one of the hosts of, if you watch After School Club, that English variety show that's in English. She's one of the hosts of that. And this is her new single. It's called Stay Beautiful, and it's definitely more on that K-R&B coffee shop side corner of the Korean music scene. But it's just nice, chill, and the vocals are good on it. So that's the only thing I've been listening to this week that I haven't already talked about on the show. So I thought I'd throw that in there.
I've only really, where we are recording this right now, we just went to the Super M pop-up on Friday. And so Super M is kind of the only thing I've been listening to, at least the only new music I've been listening to. So I feel like I don't really have a recommendation for this week other than I really like No Manners. That's a really, really good Super M song.
Okay. There you go. I'll take that. I think that's a good recommendation.
Okay.
All right. And then with that, it's time for pluggies. So if you would like to follow us. This is what happens when I talk too long. If you want to follow us on social media, at AMA Kpop on Twitter and Instagram, Ask Me About K-Pop, the podcast on YouTube, AMA Kpop pod at gmail.com for emails. Ask Me About K-Pop, the community on Amino. That's all of the places. And we'll be back next week with something spooky. I don't know. Come back and find out. Okay, bye. Chongyeon, you're our inspiration.